Here's what we're talking about today in our lineup here on The Now. A new investigation finds thousands of banned, unsafe, or mislabeled products on Amazon. What you need to be watching for when you're shopping. And this right here, not your typical motorcycle club, how dentists are using their rides to get more people dental care around the world. And also, we have searched for medical advice online, but now a growing number of people are using it to avoid going to the doctor altogether. So ahead, why that could be putting you at a greater risk in the future.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you for joining us for The Now Indy on what's been a pretty gloomy and damp Monday here across central Indiana. You can see we still have the cloudy skies in place, but we're starting to wind down the rain chances in many areas here. Storm Team 6 radar, we've got the satellite on here as well. You can see the gray skies, but we've got a couple pockets of some showers here, lifting off to the east and northeast around Seymour toward North Vernon. Another batch of some showers here just to the north of Connorsville. Again, these are going to continue to lift north and across I-70 for us between Newcastle and the Richmond area, where we've got some of the heavier rainfall, though, now just to the north of Fowler and also through Williamsport along Highway 41 there just to the north of Covington. This is, again, lifting toward the east and northeast, and it's really over the western third of the state where we'll see some additional thunderstorms, and there's that marginal or isolated threat for a strong to severe storm there this evening. But as we go into tomorrow morning, we'll actually see that rain coverage increasing once again. Our temperatures didn't go very far today. We're still in the lower to middle 70s. That's pretty much where we're going to sit over the next few hours with some of those scattered showers and storms. Amanda?
Thank you, Kyle. One group is thinking outside the box in an effort to revitalize their community. Pre-enactment is an ongoing project to help create an economically vibrant neighborhood along 3 blocks of 16th Street between the Monon Trail to Andrew J. Brown Avenue downtown. The group says right now they are worried about some vacant lots and empty buildings along those portions of 16th Street. So on the first Saturday in October, pre-enactment uses every vacant lot and abandoned building as part of a stage set for an event called Pre-enact Indy. Set designers will build temporary facades, actors will perform an equitable way of living, and model a neighborhood that is revitalized. This is the 3rd year for Pre-enact Indy.
Well, it's really impressive when people come and see what we've done with this 3-block stretch of 16th Street, when we've created these facades and we've activated these businesses, the way that this neighborhood would be once it's fully developed. And we've already seen progress from the first 2 years. Some of the buildings have already been taken over with new businesses and been rented with new tenants. So the redevelopment is already happening.
It's always really neat to see. Pre-enact Indy 2019 is happening October 5th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on 16th from the Monon Trail to Andrew J. Brown Avenue. You can watch the performance and see this group's vision for the future of 16th Street.
President Trump says serious talks with China about the trade war will begin soon. The president says that he spoke to China last night, but China's foreign ministry says there weren't any calls. Now, there were calls that took place before Sunday. Regardless, the Chinese delegation is expected to travel to Washington next month. Wildfires in the Amazon rainforest in South America continue to rage, but the debate over how best to respond, that is raging on as well. Brazil's president facing criticism over his handling of these fires. But as Chris Welch shows us, troops are finally being deployed as money is pouring in from across the globe.
From the air, it's hard to have proper perspective on exactly how far the still expanding fires reach.
This is not just a forest burning. This is almost a cemetery because all you can see is dead.
A Brazilian group that tracks fires estimates there have been over 25,000 separate fires in the Amazon rainforest this month alone. And the environmental crisis unfolding in the forest, known as the planet's lungs, was a major topic at the G7 summit of world leaders. French President Emmanuel Macron says the group of nations plans to send $22 million.
There's a true convergence to say that we all agreed to help as quickly as possible the countries that were affected by these fires.
Most of that aid money will be used on firefighting aircraft. The world's largest firefighting aircraft, Colorado Springs, Colorado-based supertanker, arrived over the weekend to help fight the blaze. Even actor Leonardo DiCaprio jumping in to help. His Earth Alliance is pledging $5 million. Meanwhile, Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, is now sending more than 40,000 troops to fight the fires. Bolsonaro has been the subject of widespread criticism in the wake of the blaze, with environmental groups blaming the Brazilian leader for scaling back environmental regulations and encouraging deforestation by loggers and ranchers.
With the onslaught of climate change mixed with homesteading and mining and all that contributing deforestation, Brazil is on the verge to lose probably 60% of its remaining habitat within under a decade.
I'm Chris Welch reporting.
All right, Chris, thank you. Let's get back to our lineup here on The Now. We have all sorts for medical advice online, but a growing number of people are using it to avoid the doctor altogether. Ahead, why that could be putting you at even greater risk in the future.
Welcome back to The Now Indy at 5:30. Many inmates at the Indiana Women's Prison on the west side now have the knowledge and skills to get a good job when they are released. The Indiana Department of Correction and a group called The Last Mile taught offenders in the prison how to code. Many of the inmates have successfully learned that critical skill on the computer and graduated from the coding program today. Employers who were interested in hiring the graduates attended today's graduation ceremony at the women's prison. The goal is to make sure these inmates can quickly get back on their feet when they're released and go back into the working world.
Let's start the Now News Feed. A big sports debate is what role should robots play in officiating? Gymnastics joining that conversation now. The International Gymnastics Federation recently approving the use of robot judges in international competition. Now, it'll be used in October's World Championships, and if that goes well, could be used in the 2020 Olympics. Today is Women's Equality Day, and when it comes to governments, advocates say Nevada is doing it right. The state's legislature, majority female, women hold 33 of 63 seats. Disney is putting stores inside of stores. Specifically, Disney will be opening dozens of stores inside Target locations in October. Target is opening a store inside Walt Disney World in 2021. Well, young adults may care about their health, but a quarter of them are avoiding the doctor. Instead, they're searching online for medical advice. Now, this is according to a survey by Harmony Healthcare. Now, some of them have been putting off treating a health issue for more than a year. All of these decisions really have to do with money. Many people between the ages of 23 and 38 are signed up for high deductible insurance plans so they can have lower monthly premiums. A physician we talked to says it is important to see the doctor now in order to avoid serious complications later.
And a lot of times, many chronic diseases, you don't feel anything, for the first several years, and later on down the road, when you do start to feel symptoms, a lot of times some damage has been done by that time. So it's really important to try and identify those ahead of time.
Now, detecting health problems now can also avoid large medical costs later. Doctors also say it's important to establish a relationship with your provider before you start seeing some serious health issues, because if you are ever dealing with a complication, your visit will go a lot smoother. Okay, ahead in our lineup, when you think of people riding motorcycles, this isn't the typical biker gang you might think of. Dentists, yeah. You're going to meet a group that is changing the image and how their rides are giving more people access to dental care around the world.
Keller and Keller.
Working from home isn't just a dream job anymore. As telecommuting policies are being perfected, larger employers are jumping on board. Utah just expanded work from home options for state workers. Started testing this last fall with 136 employees, and now 2,500 workers will work from home a few days a week. State reports that it saves tax dollars on office space and maintenance with workers sharing space. Now, they claim there is a 23% increase in productivity, and there was also an air quality boost because less carbon dioxide was being released by cars because less cars were on the road. Now, even more Tennessee state employees are telecommuting. 80% of employees say that they have better work-life balance. There was a 37% drop in people taking sick leave. The average employee is saving an estimated $1,800 a year on gas. Now, Dan Ryan's a recruiter who works from home regularly in Nashville and says that telecommuting is also used to hire top talent.
It's a good value proposition for firms to be able to offer to candidates who are looking for better balance in their life, because commuting times are not getting any shorter.
Now, Now, Ryan says there needs to be well-defined expectations on when work needs to be done. And if you want to propose working from home, he says offer to be in the office on Mondays and Fridays, so your boss doesn't think that you're trying to score a long weekend, something like that. But it is important to set up schedules and communication tools, and also make sure you're dressed appropriately, even at home, and make sure there's no distractions around so you can do video meetings or maybe just meetings over the phone. Also, highlight areas of your job where you think you can increase productivity by working at home, and be prepared to show proof of that. Loud bikes, leather jackets, and dentists. Now, when you think of motorcycles, you don't necessarily think of the pearly whites, but Annie Taylor showing us a group of motorcycle riding dentists who have a goal to change lives with their bikes.
A motorcycle gang riding through the serene mountains of southern Utah. But it's not your typical pack of motorcyclists. It's a group of dentists and their families from all over the world riding to raise money.
All the proceeds from this ride go to fund a dental humanitarian initiative that we do in several third world countries.
That's Stephen Anderson, the co-founder of Smiles for Life, a charity that has raised nearly $50 million thanks to motorcycle rides like this one. These fundraisers help families and children across the globe with little to no access to dental care.
We've trained people around the world to do dentistry that haven't been to dental school. And they now have a way to earn a living for them and their families. And they can do the simple procedures for people that have no access to care. And a community's been changed. Life as a family have been changed.
A dentist for over 30 years, Roy Hammond has done his own humanitarian work and decided to expand his efforts by creating the Miles for Life ride over a decade ago.
It changed my life, my outlook on the world that we live in, and the hardships of the people, their lack of access to the comforts of life that we have.
Dentist Ron Massey comes from Missouri and says he rides to get the word out about the lack of dental care around the world.
The World Health Organization says the biggest disease in the world, the most prominent disease in the world, is dental disease.
Just like the perspective they get from riding on the open road, they've learned there is more to life than what money can buy.
Real happiness does not come from all the stuff that they have in their homes.
It's about giving back, and that's so true of life. It's the quality of the people and the fact that everybody is willing to give more than they get, and it benefits children literally all over the world.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Thank you, Annie. A warning to anyone renting a home or apartment. Landlords often make promises about the great things they plan to add or repair. When working for you, John Mettery shows us why those promises are often worthless, so you don't waste your money.
Luxury apartments with health clubs, stainless appliances, and granite are all the rage these days with millennials. But we have a warning to all renters. If those features are not yet ready, when you're ready to sign the lease. Tenants are asking, where's the luxury at this luxury apartment complex?
There's supposed to be a fitness center, a coffee bar.
Heather Post showed us the unfinished community center 6 months after most tenants moved in.
Everything else is finished. That's the biggest bone of contention.
Tenants tell me they could have moved to any number of other apartment complexes in the area for less money, but they specifically chose this one for all the luxury features, like this pool that they've yet to be able to enjoy.
And we were told we would have a fitness center. We were told we were going to have a pool. We were told there was going to be a dog run, a community garden, and a bike storage.
All those features appear on the complex's website, where granite-filled apartments rent for around $1,400 a month. So what amenities do you have here?
Nothing. Nothing.
But there's a warning here to all renters. Don't sign a lease based on landlord promises of amenities or repairs. Ask for a way out if the promises are not fulfilled in reasonable time. That's what these tenants want.
I want it done, or I want compensation.
Bottom line, when signing a one-year lease, verbal promises mean nothing if it's not on that lease. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries for RTV6.
Thank you, John. Well, evidence of the showers and the clouds that we've had in areas like Greensburg, where you're just 70 degrees, upper 60s in Richmond, but in Terre Haute, temperatures nearing 80 degrees there. A little bit of sunshine, and this is also where we're starting to see a few more of those thunderstorms popping up, and also where the Storm Prediction Center is saying that an isolated strong to severe storm could pop up here as we go through the next several hours, really west of Indianapolis this evening. So we'll keep a close eye on these. Have had a few flashes of lightning with this this one around the Williamsport area, sliding off to the north and east around 15 to 20 miles per hour. And there you can see a few of the communities in the path of that thunderstorm. Again, nothing that's severe out there for us right now, but something to keep an eye on around Terre Haute as well, lifting along Highway 40 there toward Brazil. We've got a few more fading showers moving into Richmond and also around Brookville right now. As we go through tonight, still some scattered showers and storms, but less coverage than what we had earlier today. Our temperature very warm and muggy at 71 degrees, so we're not going to cool a whole lot tonight, and temperatures tomorrow will hold in the lower 70s right on through 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll get into the mid to upper 70s after we dry things out a little bit, but still that isolated shower or storm through the afternoon with temperatures around 80 degrees. So much of the overnight will be quiet with just an isolated shower or storm, but by the time we get to rush hour tomorrow morning, the rain is filling back in, an isolated rumble of thunder for us, so a fairly soggy start to the day. Then as we go into the afternoon, a thin line of showers and storms could take shape here over the southeastern half of central Indiana. Then that will clear the area and things are going to be quieting down for the next couple of days. Temperatures tomorrow a little bit warmer as we all get around that 80-degree mark. In the next few days of our forecast here, we are going to get rid of those rain chances for a couple of days. Just a small chance for a shower or thunderstorm coming our way on Friday. And look at these high temperatures. The average high is 84 degrees. We're not even going to be that warm here with highs upper 70s to around 80 and comfortable overnight lows Wednesday and Thursday morning in the 50s. Chris?
Schools have already kicked off the new year, but some teachers are still struggling to get all the supplies they need for their classroom. According to the Economic Policy Institute, teachers spend on average about $460 out of their own pocket. Now, that price even bigger for first-year teachers, some spending up to $2,500 just on the essentials. Now, over the summer, one teacher started an online campaign that's called Clear the List. They're trying to raise $75,000. Teachers are also encouraged to share their Amazon wish list. It's gotten a lot of support, celebrities, even the likes of Khloe Kardashian donating. But complete strangers have also bought entire wish lists.
You would be shocked to people that would just randomly send you a gift and even say that they would and don't even sign their name to it.
So how did we get to this point where teachers are needing to shell out hundreds of dollars just for basic school supplies? Well, since 2008, state funding for each student has dropped by $160 or more. That's according to the Center of Budget Policy and Priorities. Now, this hurts schools in low-income neighborhoods as local funding can't catch up. States also come up with their own formulas to decide where money goes, and some may actually decide to spend less on supplies and put money towards things like building utilities and maintenance. Some states have been able to get more funding, but it is still less than before the recession. Let's turn to the Now News Feed, and if you're looking for a source of protein, a new study says plant-based would be a good idea. A Japanese study compared those who ate animal-based protein to those who ate plant-based, and it found that plant-based protein was associated with a lower risk of death. Colonel Sanders going vegan. KFC will be testing plant-based chicken at a location in Atlanta tomorrow. The chicken is from the company Beyond Meat. Now, security can be really annoying at the airport. We know that. British airports testing 3D technology that can mean that passengers would no longer have to carry liquids in clear plastic bags, and it could also mean that people would be able to keep their electronics like laptops in their bags when they go through security. Well, another risk with e-cigarettes. Teens who vape THC are more likely to use other drugs as well. Now, those findings were published today in the journal Pediatrics. About 1 in 4 of the teens surveyed said that they had used concentrated forms of cannabis. THC levels in vape products are often higher than other marijuana products. Now, scientists are finding it difficult to see just how much THC is in a pot brownie and other edibles. It's because chocolate seems to be interfering with potency testing. A chocolate labeled as 10 milligrams of THC could have far more, and that could send someone to the emergency room with hallucinations. However, chemists say that people who consume legal THC products shouldn't be alarmed.
There is a possibility that the customer might feel too high, but on the whole, the actual effect is probably not enough that it would make the difference between somebody having a good experience or needing to go to the emergency room.
Now, scientists say while it may sound like bad news, this discovery is actually helping them test chocolate the right way so they can find accurate THC levels. All right, next in our lineup, Amazon's a place that we go to buy a lot of stuff. We trust it so much. But a new investigation is raising some red flags about everything from toys to medications that are being sold on Amazon, what you need to know before you buy.